the beat. I kill it with the beat.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I should probably mute my computer. Boom. Off to a great start. There we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Cage Titans 64 press conference. I'm your host, Michael Paul, there with Cage Titans, and we have a full slate of fighters here for you. Starting from my left, we have lightweight fighter, Cage Titans, Peter Barrett. Woo, let's get that little zoom. Next up, we got one half of our main event for the welterweight championship, Jon Piersma. The Joker to my left himself, fighting featherweight for the second time. There we go. Over here to my right, the Joker will be taking on Chris Mecate, all the way from the West Coast. All the way from Brazil, Mr. Tom Santos will be taking on Peter Barrett. And at the very end, another Cage Titans friendly fighter, Bruno Jacare Diaz, who unfortunately his fight fell off for tonight, but he'll be translating for Tom. So there we go. All right, without further ado, we're going to get right to the questions. I'm going to bring on Andrew Mack from Trial by Combat. Let him go with the questions.
What's up, everyone? No Desilets I noticed. Can't hear you, Mike.
Yes, no Desilets.
Okay. I'll start with Piersma then. So you come in with a massive experience difference, 17 fights to 3. How much of that will play into the fight, do you think?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a huge part of this fight. Coming to this fight, he only has 3 fights. None of the fights went very long into the fight. This is going to be my 11th pro fight. I've actually went 5 full rounds in a fight before. So I think it's going to be a big part of this fight. I think, you don't know what you don't know. So I think he's going in this fight a little overconfident and a little bit big on what he's done, but he's going to find out Saturday night. I guess he got a little nervous last minute and couldn't show up tonight, so hopefully he shows up Saturday.
For Barrett and Perrin, we'll start with Barrett. So you both took some time away as you entered fatherhood. What does it mean to you to be a dad fighter?
Having a child is fucking insane. I love every minute of it. It's definitely changed the way I train. It's definitely changed the way we sleep. It definitely changed the way everything happens. You go from being an MMA fighter, you're nefariously selfish. It's been a shortcoming of mine that I've tried to work on for quite some time. But to be good in this sport, you have to be selfish, and you have to have the ability to separate yourself from your family, your loved ones, and focus on what's most important. And I've been able to do that for the last 12 years, primarily with Cage Titans, with my short stint up at the UFC, which I'm always trying to get back to. But, this fight camp it's been wild, just trying to balance everything. It's been a lot on my fiance. It's been a lot on the family. So definitely grateful for the time that I get, but, much like Jay will echo, I'm sure, your focus is on a little human and making sure they grow up to be a big, strong human. So everything comes second to that. And it's beautiful and incredible to see. And I call him my little baby dude because he's going to be the little homie that does this after me and carries the flag. So he loves coming to the gym with me. He loves watching me spar. He loves watching me train. I have videos. You guys could listen to him laugh. It'll just warm your heart. It's amazing. So being a dad is an incredible gift, but it makes fighting really, really hard, which is going to make fight night really, really worth it.
I wasn't sure if Peter was going to be done there. So I can echo a lot of that. For me personally, for the longest time in my particular life, and I'm sure a lot of fighters relate, that we identify as fighters and only that for from a long time. And for most of my career, that's what I did. And when I had my daughter, I realized that that's not the only thing I am capable of being. And so I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm a friend, I'm a teammate, I'm a coach, I'm a lot of things. And I can be all of those things without identifying as one and making it my whole being, which kind of sets me free from it and makes me love it more than be obligated by it. So my daughter is the most important thing to me in the world, period. Not even close. This will never touch how much my daughter means to me. It is my passion for sure. Absolutely. And I want to show my daughter that I work hard and that if you want to chase your dreams, then your dad did too. And you're definitely going to be supported in that endeavor. But she set me free is the best way that I can put that. She made it so that I can love my job again and not be bound by what happens next after it. Win, lose, draw, and it's going to be a win. But I get to go home to somebody that loves me all the time and doesn't care if I win, lose, or draw. She cares if I'm there for her. And I will be there by her side in whatever she chooses for the rest of her life. So that's what it means to me.
Beautiful answers. Going to Mecate, what would a win over a former UFC guy in Perrin do for your career?
Yeah, a win over a UFC veteran, multiple UFC fights is obviously a big jump and is a good resume builder, which is why I wanted to take this fight, fly out to Boston on the East Coast in front of all the East Coast people, in front of his hometown, his fans. But I knew it would be a challenge, an opportunity for me. And, no risk, no reward. You got to step up, have some nuts, and then take it. And, when you do that, good things happen. So, yeah, big deal for me. That's why I flew all the way out here yesterday to come and get some. Absolutely.
Welcome to the East Coast. Last one for
Thank you.
Santos. You have fought for many promotions. How does Cage Time's energy and atmosphere compare to the others? Your mic's not on.
Estou muito feliz de estar participando de uma nova edição do Titãs. Para mim, estar lutando aqui mais próximo do Brasil, me sinto mais em casa, sinto que posso fazer um grande trabalho. Eu enfrentei grandes nomes no esporte do MMA no Japão.
So, man, it's a huge pleasure to be back. It's my second time fighting the Cage Titans, and I'm super happy to be here. It's nearer than Japan. Traveling to Japan was always a huge challenge, but I fought against amazing guys there, like Derek Cruikshank, all those guys, and Horizon, all those big shows. But honestly, I'm more happy coming to here and competing here.
Essa estrutura que eu tive esse tempo todo enfrentando grandes nomes na Ásia, e títulos no MMA, né? Me dá uma grande estrutura para estar participando e lutando contra um grande adversário nessa edição do Titãs.
From all the experience that I got in Asia, Japan, I feel more than ready to compete against Peter. I have nothing but respect for him. I respect his career, all that he did already, competing on local events like Cage Titans, and then he making to UFC. Now he's back, and I have nothing but respect, but I'm ready to put on a show.
Awesome. Thank you. Good luck on Saturday.
You got anything else?
I'm all set.
All right. So next, we're going to go to Nick. He's got some questions from the social media panel. And then we're going to go to Nick from CSR.
in-house MMA. Can you tell us how that affects your training? And also, do you have any students right now that maybe we should be keeping an eye on in the future?
The coaching thing has always been the end goal for me. Even when I started this career, I just want to be surrounded by martial arts and be able to do it. How it affects my training is if I'm gonna teach people how to do stuff, I'm gonna do it right. You know what I mean? I'm gonna focus on the quality of what I'm doing all the time. If you've ever really talked to me about the game, I'm a brain. All I do is sit and do this. This is what I do. I break people down. I analyze things. I see how we can make things better, and I try to make it applicable to other people the best I can. Right now, as far as students, I don't really have anything. I help other fighters the best I can. I've been doing this for a really, really long time. And my way isn't the best way, but I certainly have a good eye for it. So, if people want my opinion and want my help, I'm gladly there to help them and help my repertoire for that. But the end of that is to open my own gym and have my own team that I can manage and coach. And like I said, the end goal of this was this gives me peace, what I do. I always knew that I would probably never become a very rich person doing this professionally. But I just want to be surrounded by martial arts, man. It's been my life, my whole life. And that's just the end goal. So Madhouse MMA is just something I came up with because, everybody's got a shtick and you got to keep with it. And the future is I'll have my own facility and I'll have my own fighters. And when I'm done being competitive, when my body tells me I'm done, I'll still be able to be a part of the sport and do commentary for you guys and do coaching for others and give back the knowledge that I've had for almost 20 years. By the time I'll be done, it'll be 2 decades that I've been doing this to other people. So.
What is your hair care routine? And what is the... you guys tell us how you maintain that name.
And I'm being dead serious. No products. I go ocean, water, and sun. So gratefully where we go in California, we have that. Unfortunately, in Plymouth, that's probably not accessible, but
We have ocean stuff.
all right. I didn't see anyone in it. I didn't see anybody in it when we drove by. So where I live, we go in the ocean. So ocean, sun, no products, nothing touches my head. Here you go. Dead serious.
What's up?
Can you talk about, for any of the fighters or anybody else who's watching this, how do you construct your fight business and how do you get to the point to build where you are to have the brand and draw that much?
So I went to college and I have a business management and also a marketing degree, which has paid dividends with my fight career. I developed a brand a long time ago and started pushing product to help finance fight camps. And we went from like rudimentary t-shirts. Sometimes I would spray paint and shit in my backyard on fight day, like to what you guys see now, like the Teeps one that we did, the Jameson one from the last one, the double bubble, the Cracker Jack. I hope people understand how fucking sick my gear is, because there should be a cult following of people paying good money for these shirts. And maybe it'll happen long after I'm gone, while I'm a contemporary, people just take it for granted and then they'll realize that these shirts don't exist anymore. But it's always just been something super fun that we've done. It's a good way to raise money. I have a loose marketing plan for every fight camp to help push stuff out. I've been doing a really good job of getting everything done on time for this fight camp. I've been posting all my sponsors. I had my medicals done within 3 days of realizing I needed them, albeit they were late. I had them done within 3 days.
Make sure you
correct t-shirts ahead of time. I have my t-shirts. Normally I'm leaving here and picking up my t-shirts to fucking get them out before fight night. I've had my t-shirts for 3 days. I've gotten 50% of those things out. I have sweatshirts available as well. $50 for the sweatshirts, $25 for the t-shirts. He asked me about my fucking gear. So having a marketing degree, a management degree, I went to college for this shit and I'm just applying it to my fight career. So some people would pay people to do these services for them. And when my brother Max fought with me, he got to reap all the benefits because I was out there getting us sponsors, getting us money. And he was just sweet, give me more money, dude. Right. So it's just something that's come along, that's grown over the years. And I get better with it every fight camp, and the designs get better every fight. And, yeah, we just have a lot of fun with it, man. As far as the tickets go, we talk about those too. You just got to be a whore and hustle your shit. Like I sold out of tickets twice. And the first weekend I sent Mike a stack of everything that I had sold, but I think I did let's say I did 12 grand in tickets. I'd say 10 went through Barrett's Ale House in West Bridgewater while I'm at work. My uncle's super supportive of what I do. They're one of my biggest sponsors. And I'm able to sell tickets to all my regulars, all my people that come in. We have a big country night on Friday nights. All those people are one of the most supportive groups of people I've ever met. They raised money for me when I was on the Contender Series and gave me like $3 grand right before I left to make sure I had everything for my fight camp. So, I just have a really big following. Like I'm talking to younger fighters on my team and they're like, dude, I can't sell tickets. I'm like, then go get a job in a fucking bar and don't drink. Go tell people why you fight, how you fight, make fans, make friends. They will buy tickets. People will love to hear that shit, especially people that can't get out of their own way to do it themselves. They would love to support someone that's actually out there doing it and feel like a little involved to be a part of something, to know that they've helped you get to your goals. So that's my master class on how to sell tickets and t-shirts. Off. The deadline. Three business days.
Jon, this next one's for you. So you're one of the people that's really circled on this card as possibly with a win and with a title, you might get a call up to a bigger organization. Can you tell me how you deal with that pressure and that expectation kind of being placed on you? Or does that even play a factor? Is that even in your mind?
Yeah, definitely. That's always the ultimate goal, make to the UFC since day one. But I try not to focus on that because at the end of the day, I don't really have any control in that when they call me. So I'm just focused on going there, winning fights, and just being better every fight, going there, putting a great performance Saturday night, showing I'm levels above this guy, and I deserve to be at the next level. But I try not to focus on too hard because the call will come when it comes. I'm just going to keep winning fights, and eventually it's going to come.
That came in from New England MMA. They said, question, many fighters have a victory celebration. Derek Lewis slams the ground. Valdina has his gladiator pose. Will you eventually work in a warhawk pose after a W?
I don't know. Maybe someday we'll work on it.
What is a warhawk pose?
What's the pose? I don't know.
What's the warhawk pose?
I don't got a pose.
Oh, you got to, okay.
No, I don't got a pose.
It's a thing already.
No, it's not a thing. I don't know.
Go. All right. There we go. Nick, let's go one more question, then I'm going to go to CSR, Nick.
O Pili não é o primeiro. Ok? O Pili não é o primeiro UFC que eu estou enfrentando, já é o terceiro UFC que eu estou enfrentando.
He's not the first UFC fighter that I have facing. He's the third one, and he's definitely not the. I have nothing but respect for him, but man, I fought against great fighters. He's not the most skilled fighter that I've been facing. I have nothing but respect, but I fought a lot. Just do a Google, go to YouTube. You're gonna see all the matches that I fought.
O nocaute mais rápido do mundo e da Ásia, eu tive em cima de um ex-UFC. Lutei contra grandes nomes no Rising, lutei com grandes nomes no Road FC. E hoje eu creio que estou privilegiado de estar novamente lutando contra grande atleta.
I feel blessed and honored to be fighting against another former UFC. Like I said, I have nothing but respect for him. But again, just do a Google. You will see the fastest knockouts in 2017, if I'm not wrong, was against a former UFC, and I put that guy to sleep in like 6 seconds. So just keep your eyes open and don't miss.
One more. Eu gosto de grandes batalhas. Agradeço demais a Piri ter aceito esse combate comigo e espero nós fazer grande show no sábado.
I have been doing this my whole life, and I really like to fight against real fighters, not fighters that has speaking easy fights. So I'm honored to share the octagon with you. Let's put on a show.
Obrigado, Tom.
So thank you so much. I love it. These guys talk the most, both of them fighting against each other. All right, here we go. We love a fighter that has a lot to say. Next, we're going to go to Nick, and I'm going to bring him in.
How's it going, guys? How's it going, guys? Nick here, Combat Sports Report. Question for Peter. We've seen quite a bit from you as an amateur, as a pro at the Hall, just about every type of finish you can imagine. What's something you'd like to see out of yourself this Saturday?
One more time, sir.
I said we've seen a little bit of everything from you as an amateur, as a pro, just performance-wise. What's something you'd like to see out of yourself this coming Saturday?
Highly calculated violence. More pain, suffering, blood. I mean, there's been a lot of blood in my last few fights. We're going to try to top that. My t-shirts, they say teeps to the face. Maybe we can get one of those in there too, those are always spicy. But the one thing I've been working on, is always everything, the boxing, the striking, the footwork, the wrestling, the submissions, the elbows, the knees, the pain, the suffering. So, it's going to be more of the same. Highly calculated violence from bell to bell. If it goes all 15 minutes, bless your heart, because you're going to get fucking torn to shreds. But I envision a quick night in the office.
Thank you, Peter. Question for Jonathan. The Cage Titans crowd seemed a little unfamiliar with you last time, despite the fact that you've competed just about everywhere. Have you noticed a different in reception this time around, having, coming off of a victory last time?
Yeah, I mean, last January was my debut with Cage Titans, so it was my first time down here. But yeah, I thought it was a great experience. All the people were great that I talked to, ran into after the fights. So I was excited to come back, and I'm just really excited for Saturday night.
Thank you. And last question for Jay. You haven't been shy about flexing your diet this camp here. I know this is your first or second time here at 45. Is this something we can expect for you in the future, or is this just a one-time deal based on the opponent?
No, man. I like 45, man. I can eat steak and stuff. It's great. Honestly, dude, I'm a big 35er. I walk around at like $165 to $170 for 35. And I have a little bit of PTSD from my final outing at the UFC. So I'm just staying here for a while, because unless like something has weight to it, you know what I mean, is a belt, or I'm going to get paid appropriately to kill my body that way, I just don't see it. You know what I mean? I've been fighting 45ers for years. He was one once. I fight him just because it's fun all the time. And I do fine, man, against people that are a little bit bigger than me. So I've always been a guy who's never really thought about that too much. 45, I've kind of bulked up to. So I'm middle of the pack. I'd say I'm not very big there, but I'm not also small. I've seen smaller people than me. But yes, I'd say you'll see me here a lot more. It's not to say that 35 is like off the table. It's just that unless there's like weight behind it, if I get like a call, hey, if you win this one, we'll get you here, or if you know what I mean, this leads to this amount of money, then I would do it. But if it doesn't, then I know I've been cutting a 35 since I was 18 years old. I'm 30 now, and eventually your body just doesn't want to do it anymore. So I'm just saving my lifespan a little bit and keeping some years on my kidneys while I do this. So 45 will be here for a while, but if somebody with a belt, maybe in Cage Titans, maybe at 35, that has a belt, that maybe wants to sack up and actually fight and defend his belt in once in 2 years, then maybe I'd fight down there. But until that guy decides that he's not a coward and in South Florida, I'll be here.
Thank you all. That's it for me, gentlemen.
All right, so I think we're done with Nick. Nick, do you have any other questions? I have a few. I'm going to go one question each. Then we're going to go to Dylan, and then we're going to wrap this up. I promised these guys a hard end at 1, so I want to kind of keep to my word. So we'll go to Dylan and Maddie C after this. So I'm going to go right down the list. Peter Barrett, try to make it quick. All right. Yeah, right. You're on a 4-fight win streak as of late. Where does another decisive win get you? UFC or maybe a regional title, bare knuckle?
I would love to get paid enough money to convince my family that I can continue to fight and provide for my family. So we did get an offer from BKFC. They're lowballing everybody to fill up Mohegan and sell tickets. So I'm kind of like telling them to go pound sand. But if you guys have been watching social media, you would have seen Jorge Masvidal rocking a nice City of Tongue Boston t-shirt the last 2 days. Saul's been out there, so we're going to be making the moves to talk to Game Bread to see what they're offering. I know they're offering, in the nature of like 10 and 10, 12 and 12, if not more, for experience and whatnot. So we'll see. The bare knuckle stuff is on the table, but I love Cage Titans. If we were to make a belt, sure. Belts have never been, something that I focused on. I always wanted to get to the next level and make a run there. I think I'm still getting better. I haven't slowed down 1 second. My body's still behind me. My brain's still behind me. I just Mo Alkanani's 25, 26 years old. I beat the fucking brakes off of him last March, and this will be my next outing since. And you guys are going to see another stellar performance. So I think I'm getting long-winded. Did I answer the question? Cool.
Yes, you took all 4 minutes. I'm going to go right to the Warhawk, Jon Piersma, next. With a quick turn, all these questions are from Jarrett Kelly from Fightbook MMA. With a quick turnaround from your fight in January, do you want to fight as much as possible this year, or did this opportunity just kind of present itself to you?
No, my plan going in this year was to be super active. I only got 2 fights in last year for a number of reasons. I like to fight 4 or 5 times a year. So going in this year, I knew I wanted to be active. So going into that January fight, I knew I wanted to turn around quick. So right after that fight, we jumped back into camp, and then very shortly after that fight, this opportunity presented itself. We jumped on it. So yeah, we're gonna stay super active. We're gonna go in there Saturday night, grab this belt, get no damage, and then hopefully, turn it around again pretty soon. So that's the plan this year.
All right. Thank you so much. This next question is for Jay the Joker Perrin. With another solid run in the regional scene, how many wins do you feel you're away from getting back into the UFC?
Dude, you know what, man? That's a wonderful thought, and I'm sure that a lot of people look ahead to stuff like that, but I don't. I have a guy standing 4 feet from me that wants to take my head off on Saturday, and that's really the only thing I'm worried about right now. Dude, whatever happens, you know what I mean, happens. But I'm really focused on living in the moment that I'm in and not looking too far ahead of what's in front of me. And what's in front of me is, like I said, a very talented and hungry guy who wants to hit me really hard, and that's the only thing that matters. So I'm just going to keep racking them up and keep winning the best I can, and then whoever makes those decisions will make that decision for me. But I'm done trying to talk my way into stuff. I'm just going to beat people up until you're unable to not acknowledge me. So I'll just keep winning. So to answer your question, I don't know. I don't care. What I care about is winning on Saturday, and then I'm going to go home to my daughter. I'm going to put all my money into my Disney fund for my next February vacation. So that's what I'm looking forward to about it. But if they put on a damn good show, Peter. Anyway, that's my answer.
Pete, this question was not for you. Anyways, next up, we're going to go to Chris Mecate. I got a 2-part question. First, is this the first time being on the East Coast for yourself? And then why do you feel this matchup sways in your favor against Jay Perrin?
No, I lived on the East Coast in Virginia Beach for about 8 years, so I was familiar with my East Coast. My whole amateur career was all in Virginia Beach. undefeated amateur, competed in college out there. So this is not my first time on the East Coast. I'm familiar with it. And Jay Perrin's a good matchup, you know, likes to get in dog fights, and I like to dog fight too. So I feel like when it goes towards that and it gets hot and heavy in there, I feel like my hand's going to get raised because the pressure we've been putting on and the sparring partners I get and the guys I've been going with, I've been battle tested. So I'm excited to put it on against an opponent who has the resume, like I said, with UFC credentials. Very excited.
Thank you very much. And our last question from Fightbook, Jared Kelly, is for Tom. We didn't see a lot out of you in your last performance. So the fans that aren't familiar with you, what can they expect to see in this matchup?
Na primeira luta não pude impor meu jogo, mas espero que eu e meu adversário Piri possa valorizar bastante a parte da trocação, que a gente possa fazer um grande show lá realmente, que é que o público está esperando, e aí a gente possa fazer um grande jogo para poder dar um grande show.
So unfortunately, on that match, I didn't have the chance to stay on my feet. He was smart. He was jump on my legs and took me down. Good for him. That was the right decision to make it. But against Peter, you guys can expect to have me and Peter put on a show. It's going to be a bang, and I'm ready to throw heavy hands on him, and I'm fine having Peter hitting my face. I will be laughing. It's going to be a show. And just one thing, I don't want to get the attention, but I saw Rob. How could I say his Wustig? You say who's ready to see the real deal coming back and blah, blah, blah. Man, we were supposed to be fighting Saturday. Where are you? I broke my hand 5 weeks ago. And just because you had a sinus infection, you asked to move the fight to May. What's going on, bro? I hate to be lifting. I put out this muscle just thinking about you for nothing. And now I have to carry out this muscle that I hate. I like to be light. Bruh, come on, man. Come on. Sorry, guys.
Thank you, Bruno. For those who aren't aware, Bruno and Robert we're going to square off on this card, and unfortunately we had to push it to May, so he's a little upset about that. But either way, we have Dylan Napoleon's going to be jumping in and asking his last and final questions. The guys that I have on, I have Dylan and Maddie C. If we can try to keep it as quick as possible, as well as the fighters' answers, just so we can get everybody out of here. I want to keep to my promise that we'd be out soon.
Can you guys hear me? All right, cool, man. I appreciate the time. Thank you guys for staying a little bit later today. I'll start with Jay Perrin. This fight would be your second after coming back to the regional scene. Do you feel like you're more free in the cage now after competing and getting rounds at the highest level in the world?
That's a great question. Free, that's an interesting. When you've been to the highest level, you come here, and obviously the environment at Cage Titans is quite literally like none other that I've been a part of. So let's, you know what I mean? Especially for a regional show. So let me not downplay it at all. But when you've seen stadiums full of people and things like that, and you've seen the highest sport of it, the pressures of that are gone. You know what I mean? For me, particularly, I can only talk about myself. I can't speak for others. But, you know, I've been to the show, and I've been there, and I've seen it all. And so when you get back to here, it's just more about, I've been set free of, am I going to get back there? I've been there. You know what I mean? So at least in my life, I can say I've been there. If I get back there, fantastic. But at least now I can enjoy the sport. So am I more free in the cage? Absolutely. I'm more comfortable than I've ever been inside that cage. I went into the Lionel fight, which the only thing I really hate about that is that I didn't get away from a rear naked choke. I know you're right. Basically, yes. I feel more free and comfortable. To keep it short, it feels much better to be in there than it did before.
Thank you, man. Next question for Chris Mecate. I know that Cub Swanson is a large part of your regiment. What's it like being around and learning from such a well-respected and experienced UFC Hall of Famer?
Yeah, it's a big deal, and I make sure every day to soak up. I was telling Mike before, it's the technical and all that stuff is great because Cub's wealth of knowledge, 40 years old, fighting UFC. He's been in it at a high level since his 20s. But it's more of the mental kind of thing that I try to pick up in terms of how he approaches the sport, the longevity. He has a family, he's got kids, and he's maintaining a high level of success, fighting the top guys in the world. And it's more of just an observation experiment for me when I'm just watching him every day, seeing how he reacts to things, how he trains for things, any of the fight politics stuff, just kind of seeing how the games ran at the top for such a long time. So yeah, Cub, been around me for a lot of years now. And I remember the first sparring session I had with him, I was a little bit nervous because he didn't know who I was and I knew who he was, and he didn't whip my ass. He kind of took it easy on me. So I owe him one for that because he could have beat me up pretty bad. So yeah, Cub's the guy. And then he's always there dropping gems and hints of wisdom when you need it, and then giving you what you need to be successful. And we've talked a lot before this fight, and so I feel very dialed in, ready to do my job.
Thank you. For Peter Barrett, you currently ride a 4-fight win streak, all by knockout. What can you tell me about the momentum within and how dangerous you feel coming into this fight?
Highly calculated violence. It's my answer for everything. Knees, elbows. If I could headbutt somebody, I would headbutt them. If I could bite him, I would take his ear off. We're just not allowed to do those things. But, you know, I bring it 100% of the time. You know, sometimes training sucks, but you know what? I always fucking show up on fight night, and I'm going to push 110 miles an hour all 15 minutes. And I promise you, he will break.
Thank you, man. And one last question, if that's okay. For Jon Piersma, right next to him, you two and your opponent, both of you guys have a lot of quick finishes within your careers. Do you see this fight, you know, being quick, or do you think that the experience that you have being able to go 5 rounds is going to be a difference maker?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be a huge difference maker. You know, I could see a quick finish in this fight for myself. But also, if this fight goes deeper into the fight, second, third round, you're going to start to see that experience difference. And the fact that I've went 25 full minutes in a fight is going to be a huge factor. He's never been, I don't even know if he's been outside the first, and he's never fought anyone near my level. So, yeah, I think the longer this fight goes, the worse it gets for him. And especially if this gets deep in the fight, it's going to start getting real bad for him. So we'll see how it goes Saturday night, but I'm excited.
Thank you, man. Thank you to all you guys. Have a good rest of the week, and best of skill to all of you Saturday night.
All right. Thank you so much, Dylan. And then our last guy that we have is Matty C from Matty C Sports. So we're going to bring him in real quick and get a last few questions, and then we're going to be wrapping it up.
Can y'all hear me? All right. So this goes for Chris and Jay. So do you guys believe in this East Coast, West Coast thing, or is this another day in the office?
East Coast, West Coast, down south, up north, it doesn't matter. You got to get in the fisticuffs. I'll fight someone in my backyard from my neighborhood if I had to get to the UFC. It doesn't mean, it means literally nothing to me. You can put me wherever and I'll get in a fight. So if it's up to him, if he wants to have beef with the West Coast, then yeah, I'll be the guy. But to me, it's a game on.
Bringing it back to Biggie, baby. No, I'm playing. I don't care. I don't know. I had a feeling that question would come up, but no, it doesn't matter, man. He lived in Virginia. I lived in Vegas. I like California more than I like it here. It's cold as shit here. All right, what are we talking about? If anything, I have beef with where I'm from, if anything. So, no, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Two guys are doesn't matter where we're from. We're going to get in the cage and beat the shit out of each other, and it's going to be just marvelous. So, it doesn't matter where he's from or where I'm from. We're just going to put on a good show.
Sweet. And for Peter Barrett, you're off a year, in the cage itself, but training, every day. But, how does it feel to be back in the cage, like, actually fighting somebody like Mr. Santos over there?
I don't like to take this much of a break off. If I could have done it differently, I would. But, my son was due in August, and July seemed like it would have been a clusterfuck of a fight camp to try to get that off. And then Anything sooner would have been too much. It would have been too soon. So, you know, we do the best with what we've got. You know, sometimes people ask, how you doing? I'm doing the best with what I got. Get the fuck off my back. You know, that's the best you can do sometimes. And the situation at hand was raising my son and getting him to a point where we could put me in the gym enough to train for a fight was like 5.5, 6 months. So here we are. You know, there will be no ring rust. There'll be no cage rust, however you want to call it. I look to get in there in dominating fashion and do what I do best, and that's take heads with highly calculated violence.
And my last for Jonathan, I mean, you came in last Cage Titans, and like I think somebody said, nobody expected, like everybody was kind of surprised at your performance. And, you know, how did it feel when you had so many fans there? I mean, there was a lot of New York fans supporting you over there last fight. So how did that feel, with, like the New York family being there?
Yeah, for sure. You know, that happens pretty much every time I fight, you know, since I'm from upstate New York, Rochester, New York. So I don't get to fight locally ever. So I'm always traveling. So this is going to be my, I think, 4th or 5th time fighting down this New England area. It seems to be the same story every time. They bring me in to fight, you know, one of the, you know, top 170 guys in the area. And people I don't know if it's not from around here or wherever it is, but people always build up the fight as like it's, you know, be this some great fight and this huge challenge for me. But every time I've came down here, it's never been close. Last fight, a lot of people picked the guy I fought my last fight to beat me and upset me coming into this promotion. I didn't really say much leading in, but I knew that was, you know, crazy, and that was just because they'd never seen me fight, I guess. I knew I was going to make easy work of that fight. And I feel like this fight's the same way. You know, this kid's got a lot of hype behind him, 3-0, 3 finishes. But, I mean, if you just go back and look at the guys he's fought, you just can't even begin to compare it. You know, we're not underestimating. I'm not taking this lightly. But I just think it's going to be a big wake-up call for him and a lot of people down here in this area. You know, they keep bringing me down here, and I keep coming and collecting belts and checks, and I'll keep doing it until I get to the top.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Good luck, everybody, on Saturday. Actually, I don't like saying good luck, but.
All right, there you have it, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to the press conference. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have everybody stare down one last time. We got about a minute and a half worth of videos so we can break down this stage and get them out there. So stay tuned.
the beer. Kill it with the beer.
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in for the Cage Time 64 press conference. If you haven't heard by now, Cage Time 64 is sold out. So if you wait to get your tickets, you're shit out of luck. So don't worry, our broadcast partner, Spectation Sports, guys, you covered. You can hop on over, go watch the live stream live on Saturday night. Use your favorite fighter's last name as a promo code so they get credit. Another way for them to get in some revenue to put towards their fight camps. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the fighters, stare them down, get them off on their way so they can get ready and prepare for tomorrow's weigh-in. So here we go. We're going to bring up first Tom Santos and Peter Barrett. Pete, you go to second. So, face forward right here. All right, guys, make some noise for Peter Barrett and Tom Santos. And then next up, we got Jay the Joker Perrin versus Chris Mecate. Chris, do you have a nickname? No? All right, there you go. I'll just stare down. Make some noise for Jay the Joker Perrin and Chris Mecate. And then, unfortunately, Everet Desilets was stuck working, so he wasn't here. But come on, we'll bring it up. Jon Piersma made it all the way up from upstate New York, and he made it here. So I won't make him hold it. I know that's thing, but there you go. Tomorrow, main event, Jon the Warhawk Piersma taking on Everet Desilets. I'm sorry, it's Saturday night. There you go. All right, thank you. Thank you guys once again. And as always, follow us on all Cage Time social media platforms to stay up to date with all this weekend's things. And if you hadn't heard already, Patriots Hall of Famer, 3-time Super Bowl champ Tyler will be in the building with his brand new Vodka Corvus. So I will see you at the fights.